Welcome back to the Soul Factory, people. It's been a while. I think when was it that I interviewed Real Man? It's end of May. So yes, we've been. This series has been away for a while, but we're back. And today, obviously, you've already seen who our next guest is. Um, Reigning Spring Showdown champion, Dragon Ninja Laser Eyes. That's a fucking mouthful. Pardon my language. Dragon Ninja Laser Eyes champion for the month of June. One of the best Tekken players in South Africa. Man like Iggy. What's up? How are you doing? Sorry, say that again. I think
Thanks,
my. Ah, yeah, now we can hear you. My desktop audio is muted. You could have done this entire stream without anyone hearing a word he said. But
lovely.
yeah, we fixed it. We fixed it. So yeah, how's it going? How are you keeping with um during this Corona period we're living through? These interesting
Um,
times we're living through.
I'm okay. Things are okay. I'm still able to work.
Mm,
Work from home. The biggest challenge I would say would be the 3-year-old who
mm,
has to be at home as well.
mm.
But yeah, we manage. We've been managing. It's hard, I will say, because we actually had to take a reduction in salary.
mm.
And my wife and I work at the same place, so that's double the reduction.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we've pulled through. I think we're doing okay. I mean, I won a couple tourneys.
Mm,
That helped.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's helped. But I mean, so long as everyone's safe, healthy, and all that stuff, like that's all you can
That's
ask for.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's really cold. I've got a cup of Java.
Hey, keep yourself warm, because we're gonna be here for a while. I have quite a few questions for you, sir.
Oh,
About you as a player, um, your community, and your thoughts on the game. So yeah, just without further ado, um,
okay.
you've obviously won quite a number of tournaments around South Africa since you started playing competitively, and I think calling you one of the best players in your country is a fair assessment, like given your track record.
Thank you.
Um, so when is it that you started playing Tekken for the first time? Like, what was your first experience with Tekken or just fighting games in general?
It's hard to decide because I'm pretty old, so I can't really remember which exactly was the very first experience. But I'll tell you about two, and I'll tell you about my brothers and Taken 3.
Mm-hmm.
We we were, I think, about 10 or 11, and we were just playing Taken 3 like mad lads on the PS1,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I got into it. And for the next 5, 6, 7 years, it was just that me and my brothers constantly playing this game. And I will say that I was maybe a bit more competitive than them overall. From then already, probably like 8, 9, I could always tell that it meant a bit more to me. I don't know why, but just
Mm-hmm.
it's always been this way. Winning was always just a bit more important to me than the rest of them. And
Mm-hmm.
beating them, it was hard. I remember it being really difficult and having to actually play the game properly to try and to win. Yeah, that was what happened back then. I
Uh-huh.
remember sitting, the only one out of all five of us, because there's five of us,
Uh-huh.
sitting in practice mode, trying things, trying to do matches.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also specifically remember going to like game shops, these little video shops. Sometimes it was just stock shops where they'd sell like chips and stuff. A truck
Mm-hmm.
shop. I don't know if you know that term. And there'd be like a gaming station there, and then there I remember playing King of Fighters
Uh-huh.
and being really
So
into
that
that
was
at the
so
time.
KOF. So KOF was your first fighting game.
I think that was actually my first fighter because I would have
Okay.
played that before we got the PS1.
Okay.
So yeah, I played KOF. I remember playing 97, 98, and the whole Nest saga. That was amazing to me. I thought
Uh-huh.
it blew my mind.
Uh-huh.
K Dash was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, that was my first experience with fighting games, I'd say.
Okay. So what about when is it that you got into Tekken for the first time?
That was when Tekken 3 came out with the PS1. But I think we got maybe we got a bit late. the actual console. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
Tekken 3.
Okay. Um. So was there you know you had said that previously. I think I zoned out for a second. My bad. Like you literally said that like 2 minutes ago, and I asked you the same
Yeah,
question. My
it's
bad.
okay.
um. So you and your brothers get into Tekken 3 on the PS1, and obviously you seem to move into KOF, as you said with KOF 97 and into the whole Nest saga. But when was there a particular person or thing that got you to stop playing? Which is there? Did you stop playing KOF competitively at first, or was it Tekken?
Tekken. I've only ever played Tekken competitively.
Okay, so
I would say that.
what was there? So was there a particular person or thing that pushed you into playing it competitively? Uh, yeah.
I think what we need to then sort of figure out is what we define as competitive, because I played only with my brothers
Mm-hmm.
for probably close to a decade, and I found that extremely competitive. But I think we
Mm-hmm.
are defining this
So
in terms
yeah,
of
in terms of
obviously
yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
The
going to
thing
tournaments
is,
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, that 10 years of obscurity, I could have been part of a scene I didn't know existed.
Mm.
So yeah, that was a massive like wow, it was an awakening. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know I could do this, and be part of something this big. So I met Richard. I have to say that Richard, Angry Mad Jim.
So Richard being Angry Margin, I think
Yeah,
for yeah for I think the rest of for the stream, another South African Tekken player.
yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I met him on PS4 when I finally got into online. That's
Uh,
basically how it all started.
mm.
I met him on PS4 and he invited me to a session, and yeah, the rest is pretty much history.
So,
That's how it started. So I kind of have to credit everyone losing to me in Tony to Richard.
that's kind of a weird flex, but we'll take it. Um, so was it Richard or AMJ that like sort of took encouraged you to go to your first tournament? Is he the
Yeah,
one that told you about the whole thing with like Tekken tournaments being around? That
yeah,
was all Richard.
yeah. He's the reason I went to my first session. I met him there, and then I just started networking and making my own sessions. It's been
Okay,
awesome.
so what was your first experience going to a tournament like? Like, what was the? How did you find the atmosphere? Like, what was your general experience with it, and what is it that encouraged you to keep doing it after that first one?
Um, so I know my first tournament was Random Select 2.
Uh huh.
I don't even remember when that was. Oh God, 4, 5 years ago maybe. It's
Uh
not
huh.
actually that long ago.
Uh huh.
Because
So
like
I.
I said, I didn't know there was a scene.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I went to that tournament, and I just again, I was in complete awe. I didn't know this existed. It was mad. I met all these people. They all liked the same thing. It was surreal.
Mhm.
I couldn't describe it. But what really got me was that out of the 30 something people there, I placed fourth.
Mhm.
And I had no prior information about this game. I didn't know there were frames. I didn't know what frames were. I just came in there and I played the way I'd been playing for the last, 10, 15 years,
Mhm.
like a mad lad, dick jabbing everyone, uh, doing full crouch mix ups because you're not going to block the low. I was playing Nina at the time,
Uh huh.
and I genuinely didn't know what I was doing, and I still managed to place fourth with I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was just this sheer. I think your reaction to when I was playing a Hachi against you,
Uh huh.
that laugh when I did while standing two when you ran in
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
running
yeah,
three.
yeah.
Yeah, that reaction probably encompasses everyone else's reaction the day I came to that tournament,
Wow.
because I was just doing the maddest shit and it was working.
So obviously you placed fourth at that tournament. I can imagine
Yeah.
getting such a result like at your first ever tournament would have, I guess, you'd have gotten some sort of higher for that, and in your head you're like, oh, maybe I can do this, and I should go to more tournaments. Was that the case, or?
That was the whole thing. I was like, I could probably do this. So
Yeah.
let me actually try.
What was the general atmosphere like? Like, was with the community just away from the gameplay? Like, what was the
Mhm.
reception like for you? How did the community receive you? Obviously, that being your first tournament, everyone else is meeting you for the first time. Like, what were your interactions like with everyone at that first
Look,
tournament?
I am, I should say, fairly older than most people playing video games,
Uh
right? So I'm there and I'm seeing this just naked enthusiasm, and I'm
huh.
like, I'm a little taken aback. Are you people on drugs? What's going on? Um, I kept to myself mostly, but
Mm.
everyone was just so hyped up and so happy to see like new faces. Literally it seemed like a drug to these people. They just went mad. So it was to say it was a positive reception would be an understatement.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty hype.
Yeah. So when you first started competing, and even now, um, would you say you had or still have players that you looked up to and tried to emulate in terms of your playstyle? Now, before you answer, I can only assume, like before you started going to tournaments, because you said you didn't know that there was this whole scene that did tournaments and everything.
Yeah.
Um, for me, it would be safe to assume that you didn't know that was the case across the rest of the world either.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so let's talk about after you started. Like, what you know, which players would you say, if any, you have like that you look up to or tried to emulate in terms of your play style?
So it took me a while to download the internet because it's massive and there was so much that I could just absorb.
Uh,
But immediately, I think I started really getting into like watching tournaments online and stuff,
mm,
or going to tournaments and stuff around when JDCR won Evo.
that was
And
2017, yeah,
I'm watching
yeah,
this fool while running two people with Dragonov. And at
mm,
this time, I'm still just playing Nina.
yeah,
And I'm watching this guy just run over people. And I pick the character up. And I still play this character to this
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. I would say inadvertently or maybe directly, JDCR is probably someone that I do look up to. I just like the
Okay.
way he moved. I like the kind of he's got this, in my opinion, pressure without really doing anything. I feel like he's always just moving around everything,
Mm.
which is intimidating because then you don't know when to approach, which is what
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
sort of
Mm.
emulate now. But it's hard because I also like to interrupt turns.
Mm.
So there's this
No, but
these
I
two
can,
types of styles.
I can agree with that because I see that as much as you do like to try and interrupt turns, you like whenever I've played you, you're always actively trying to move around attacks, and that makes it, as you said, like difficult to approach. It's like, now if this guy is stepping everything, like when can I get in and attack
Yeah.
without being stepped? So
So he
um
created that mental pressure, and it
mm,
was very sort of appealing to me.
yeah,
Even though I didn't really emulate his play style very
mm,
at that time. It took me. I started really moving well, inverted commas,
mm,
this year only, I would say.
mm.
But I always really admired that about him. So yeah.
I can see that in the characters you play as well. Dragunov, Heihachi, those I think are two of your main characters. Uh,
Oh damn! It's
you've
more obvious than I thought, actually.
Yeah, and you have an Armor King, though it's not Armor King's not really,
Trash.
yeah, yeah,
My Armor
but
King is trash, and Armor King is trash.
yeah,
Imagine
yeah, it's
trash
a
squared.
yeah, yeah, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Um, so moving on from that, like as we all know, the Tekken World Tour touched down in Africa for the first time last year, Cape Town Showdown.
Yeah.
And you had the privilege of playing the tournament, and you placed in the top 8. So what was that experience like in general? Um, let me just ask you a bunch of questions so you can just like
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
That's very, very, very
Um
broad.
um so like I'm just interested to find out like what was the level of excitement like in the community, especially for someone from Cape Town like yourself. And was the preparation for the event any different to others you've been a part of? Like given the size of it, like this is a Tekken World Tour event,
Mm.
so like we really need to make like the best account of ourselves possible. Like what was that like?
So, um, the organizers are random select events,
Mm-hmm.
and I always just think of Sigma GB
Mm-hmm.
when I think of those tournaments.
Shout out Sigma.
But yeah, yeah. So it was crazy hype, dude. It was insane. I
Mm-hmm.
had a weekend session that weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People were at my house. I shipped my wife off. She went to play somewhere else on the weekend.
Wow!
It was crazy.
Wow!
Poor woman. Poor woman. She was kicked out of her own house. Anyway,
Priorities. Wow. Okay.
yeah, I
God
had
damn.
this house was packed. I have this video where I walk from my daughter's room, which is on the inside, all the way
Mm.
into the front room, and there's setups everywhere, and people are playing, and people I don't know from
Uh-huh.
Graph Soap are in my house. It's crazy. That's one level of hype, I would say.
Uh-huh.
But then also when you actually got to the event, because it was over 2 days,
Mm.
I remember just the noise. Everyone was just loud. I had a headache, but I was fine with it. I had a headache within an hour, but I was
Yeah.
still screaming.
Yeah.
The hype was palpable, and then it went crazy. Yeah, I think either the Saturday or the Sunday when we hit something like 10,000 viewers.
Yeah, yeah, that was mad. I
Then
was watching
people
the
were
stream.
louder.
I was watching the stream screaming at it. I remember that day like vividly because my parents had visitors in the house, and I was in my room watching the stream. Obviously, because of
Yeah.
Dark Tempest, all of us here
Yes.
were watching and like supporting him and stuff. And I was in this room screaming at the top of my lungs, and my mom at some point was like, like, can you calm down? Like, you're gonna scare away our visitors or something like that. But like, yeah, when it hit 10K, I was like, this is a moment. You know what I mean? That whole
Yeah.
tournament, not just that particular point when the stream hit 10K. Um, the entire tournament, I think there were more in excess of 2,000 viewers watching. So for me, I was like, this is a big moment for like you guys to like showcase yourselves, and like I was really happy for you guys in that sense.
And for Maui.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Man came third. Uh, the way he lost to Dax in the losers final, we shall not discuss. But we,
I was annoyed.
even you were annoyed. Everyone was annoyed. Everyone in the
A
chat,
little bit.
everyone in like, well, we let's not talk about that.
Okay.
We move swiftly.
The thing though is, Maui is a big part of my CTS experience, and I feel
Okay.
like he would say the same for me.
Okay, no,
He,
talk about that a bit. I'm interested.
yeah, it's crazy. He just texted me on Twitter. I think I got a DM or something. Someone gave me no. I got a random. You know when you get a WhatsApp message with just the number?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was Maui.
Okay.
So I talked to him and he tells me he's Dark Tempest. And I specifically remember because at that point I was subscribed to your channel or this
Mm-hmm.
channel, Taken 254. I
Yeah.
specifically remember seeing his name there and
Uh-huh.
thinking, if man wants to come play and I might play you tomorrow, who am I going to say no to? So you
Yeah.
guys think I'm all, this man is the coolest guy. He lets this guy. I was methodical. I have to play this fool. Obviously, I'm going to let him come to session. And then he came to session and we did some things that I shouldn't say on a public forum, and that was fun.
Dark Tempest things. The
Dark
Kenyan
Tempest thing.
the Kenyans in the stream know what you're talking about, like
Good,
in
good.
detail.
Okay,
So yeah, you don't need to explain any of that.
sweet. And then we played a whole lot of Tekken
Uh-huh.
throughout that weekend. He came the Friday, he came the Saturday, he came the Sunday after the. I don't think he came the Sunday after the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then before he left on Monday night, when season 3 I think dropped.
Mm.
He it was literally the day season 3 dropped. He
Mm.
came to my house and I played him, and Lars just got his 111 buff,
Mm. Mm.
and I was his goddamn guinea pig.
That's all you need to say. Like, say no more. Like the minute you said 111, I already knew where you were going with that. Um. So like, yeah, I assume there was a lot of salt with that. We deal with that week in week out. So it's you
But
know.
the weird thing about meeting Maui, and I spent like a half the evening with him, the Friday night.
Mm.
Saturday, I watched him play, and we played again the Saturday evening, and we just meshed well. And he's a funny guy.
Mm.
But I didn't know it just felt weird not cheering for him. So I was cheering for him against South Africans, and then that felt weird. And right at the same time, it's weird. He's my
Mm.
friend now. I met him for
Yeah.
the weekend.
Yeah, he's as annoying as he is to play against. Like he's a very likable dude. He's a cool guy. Everyone here, and I assume everyone else he's met likes him. He's a yeah, as you said, he's a funny guy. But him, him and Extra exactly this. Extra is like the nicest guy in our community, but like when it comes to playing him in game, uh, it's like it's a completely different story. But let's not
Yeah.
dwell on that. I might start ranting. But yeah. So yeah, I can only imagine. Obviously, myself, Mickey, Frost, and Quinaro were supposed to come with Dark Tempest
Yeah.
to Cape Town Showdown, but for various reasons, the four of us could not come along.
I'm
But yeah,
glad you didn't.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be more opportunities.
Yeah.
We shall invade South Africa eventually.
I mean,
Um,
it was hard enough making top 8. Sly the bastard kicks me to losers. What an ass. I'm like, dude, this is my moment. I'm on the winner's side. If I just win this game, I'm in top 16 on the winner's side tomorrow.
yeah.
No, Sly beats me. Seriously, he 2-0'd me just like that. And I'm like, oh, this ass. Like, is this really necessary, right? Sly. Sly.
Listen. You made top eight. You should be happy with that, at the very
I
least.
was really annoyed.
I don't think Sly made top eight, so you have that over him at the very
It's
least.
fine.
Um.
I'm always gonna be mad.
Anyway, moving on from CTS. Um.
Yeah.
Uh. Actually, this question is kind of linked to CTS. So like, as a leading figure in your local Tekken scene, how would you say you've seen your community evolve in the lifespan of this game, Tekken 7, especially after Cape Town Showdown? Because I can imagine that event would have sparked a lot of excitement in the community. And this year, of course, there was supposed to be another CTS, but you know, COVID-19 happened. But yeah,
The
how
answer.
yeah.
The answer to that question is greatly linked to COVID-19, I would say, because everything has. I'm going to speak present and maybe go backwards. Everything is really dipped right now. Everything's online, obviously,
Mm,
and I can't really speak about the vibe of the scene because I don't think anyone's scene right now is an accurate reflection of the way things are.
mm,
But just after CTS, I remember sessions were crazy. Everyone was going, everyone was playing, everyone was hyped for season 3. And I remember seeing so many new faces when I compared to when I started. The tournament that I entered, there were 30 players. And the very last tournament that was played offline, I think,
mm-hmm.
was over 60, 70 people. That's not including CTS. I'm not obviously including CTS in that count. The
60, very last tournament of the year.
yeah, offline. I think
Okay.
Spring Showdown.
Oh yeah,
Spring
yeah.
Showdown.
Which you
Yeah,
won. Yeah.
there was close to 60 people there. There were people I've never seen before. There were
Uh.
people I saw only playing King of Fighters, suddenly playing Tekken tournaments.
Okay.
People who only played Dragon Ball Fighter Z, suddenly entering Tekken tournaments. So
Mm-hmm.
things really took a very drastic upward sort of thing
Mm-hmm.
when after CTS and season 3. Yeah, so I think that answers the question. I think
Yeah,
the
I
roof
mean,
just
I,
jumped.
I can imagine like the level of excitement that would give a scene, like having like that CTS meant a lot. That must have meant a lot to you guys, being the first ever TWT event in Africa, and the viewership it got, and just the all the hype surrounding that tournament. And
Yeah,
I can imagine a lot of people saw that, and like I can get in on this. You know what I mean? Um, and
that's exactly what
there
happened.
was supposed, obviously, one of the two African events this year was going to be in Ivory Coast. Um, and it's the same thing, like with um, Ivoire Raycon after he came. I think it was top 32 in Evo last year. Like that whole, like that just blew the door open for them. And it's like I can imagine like so many Ivorians saw that, and it's like, wow, like
Yeah,
this is one of us. Like let me get in on this. Um,
especially after what happened at CTS. Yeah.
mm. um, so aside from being just a competitor, like you run a team called Blue Spark Rogues. I think I got that right. BSR. Um,
Yeah, those guys.
they used to sort of help push the Cape Town Tekken scene forward. And I have to shout out Regan and TUG doing the same thing in Durban. I think that's something really interesting. Um, so how have you found how have you found it trying to bring players in your city together and like put some hours in from time to time? Like what sort of challenges have come with that, and how have you taken to that in general?
Okay, that's a hard question, but okay. Uh, so this BSR really started with me and Kay, but it was a complete accident.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing weekly. Every single week, we were playing at my house on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were playing, other people came as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly we were this clique of players playing exclusively Friday nights at my house, even though we would invite as many people as
Yeah.
they wanted to. The same group of people
Just
would
just
just
hold just hold
appear.
on. Just for some context, I
Yeah.
in case anyone hasn't heard of K, that's he's from Angola, right? Angolan Tekken player,
Yes. Yeah.
who finds himself in South Africa every so often. But yes,
That's true.
but yes, carry on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We
you and K started
sorry,
this,
go.
and it grew into this thing where every Friday night these people are meeting at your house.
Yes. So they're
Yeah,
just at my house every Friday.
yeah.
And even though, like, I made the effort to invite different people, somehow it just ended up with the same group of people at my
Mm,
house every Friday.
mm,
And then we decided to, what, I don't know, just call ourselves something because we are cheesy, I
mm.
guess. Um, yeah, I remember Jamie saying we should have a team name. And I was like, yeah, we should do that, I guess.
Mm,
And then that's how it started. And every week we'd play and we'd keep playing and we'd invite people to maybe play a set online with us or stuff like that. But the big thing was going to tournaments and for some reason having that little tag.
mm,
It was weird that people saw that and inadvertently paid mind or
mm.
respected it somehow, just a little
Yeah,
bit more. I don't know. I don't know if that's because of its affiliation with me and Kay or with
that's
Cape Town
probably yeah.
or I don't know.
That's
But
probably the case because obviously you and K have placed highly at a number of tournaments over there. So I can only assume like saying this BSR name in front of your names like would have uh, lent some credibility to it, I guess, or some respect.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so every tournament that we entered, it was a goal that we would have our players in and among the top 8 and 16. And we had four in the top 16 at CTS.
Yeah.
And at Spring Showdown, 5 out of 8 of them
Mm.
were BSR. Even I know that's a Cape Town tournament, but I mean, I still think it's worth mentioning
Yeah,
that there were
I
five
mean,
out of eight of them.
you have to claim your territory. You know what I'm saying?
And we have.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that's how it started. And it is difficult, I will say, because I am running it from my home
Mm.
and there's logistics involved and I take this maybe a little too seriously than I should, and I get annoyed when people maybe don't communicate as effectively as I would like.
Mm,
And I'm also a lot older than some of the people in the group,
mm,
so I tend to expect a level of maturity that maybe isn't what's necessary. I don't know, but yeah, it does come with its challenges. But
yeah.
because we come together every Friday night and we play this game and we tilt each other, it doesn't matter. It's
Mm.
chilled. We're gonna do that.
Yeah,
It's
at
fun.
the end of the yeah, at the end of the day, you're having a good time and you're getting
Yeah,
better at the game.
that's the
Um,
goal.
yeah. So is there? I can only assume at a number of those sessions you just mentioned. Maybe you just talked about some of the guys being like quite a bit younger than you.
Yeah,
Um, so off the top of my head, I think some of the younger players in from your local scene, that being Cape Town, I think
yeah,
there's Sidonia Angel, there's Goofy Mercury,
yeah.
there's Amiero, and a couple of others. So like, is
Amira
there
is not that young anymore.
what?
But yeah,
Sorry.
I said Amira's not that young anymore. But
Mm.
yeah,
Okay.
you could say.
Okay. So is there a lot of enthusiasm for the game amongst like this next generation of players in Cape Town, or what's
The thing
what's
is,
yeah.
there was, and then COVID.
Mm.
And now it's harder to get things together. It's harder to see people, or they don't have the time to put into. Uh, I don't know how people don't have time to put into Taken, but apparently they don't now.
Mm.
Things are a lot harder with COVID now, especially since we have so many restrictions on our side.
Yeah.
So it has been hard to find that enthusiasm. I've had to drive a lot of sessions, but I think it's expected given the circumstances.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you look at this, I don't want to really delve too much into COVID, but if you look at what COVID's done to the youth, it's sort of shackled them, and
Mm.
they might be in a bad space. Personally, I'm very happy that I get to stay at home every day, but
I mean,
that's
yeah,
me, you know.
that's yeah, yeah, me as well. Like it's working from home is chill. There's uh, obviously like with work stuff. Obviously, you still have your deadlines and stuff, but the environment is chill. Like you don't have to wake up really early to drive somewhere. You just
Yeah,
get out of your bed and sit down and
I hate traveling.
yeah, get a bowl of
Oh,
Weetabix, put it on your desk. You know what I'm
there
saying?
you
It's chill.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, yeah, I
yeah,
can understand. I can only imagine that like once we get through this whole pandemic, that once offline events start becoming a thing again, especially with the Tekken World Tour coming back, well, actually I can't say for sure because of like the economic impact this pandemic has had. But
yeah.
if it is to come back, I can only imagine that enthusiasm will start to creep back as well because. Um, I would be surprised if unless for logistical reasons that events don't come back to Cape. Like there's not another TWT event in Cape Town Showdown, and the one that was supposed to happen in Cote d'Ivoire in Ivory Coast. So
Hmm.
I can only
That's
imagine
different.
when that starts to pick up again, like the enthusiasm will slowly start creeping back as well. Um,
Yeah.
so at some point in your life, you're eventually going to stop playing Tekken competitively. That is, going to tournaments and stuff. But I would think you'd still want to be involved in supporting your local Tekken scene, like in some capacity. So, have you given much thought into how you're going to stay involved with your scene and you start competing, especially with the stuff you're doing with BSR? Have you considered becoming a TO or getting behind the scenes like with events and that sort of thing?
That's also a hard question.
Mm.
Um, I haven't really thought much about life after competing because
Mm.
I've been underlined competing.
Mm.
I've It's really been taking it very seriously. We've got this league that's worth quite a bit of money as well.
Mm. Mm.
So
Is that the
Taken is
Nodwin Gaming League?
Yes, that one.
Okay, yeah.
So Tekken is very much become a job for me. You
Mm,
know, it's not
mm.
not a joke. It's not fun. I have to win because I need money. So yeah, I haven't really thought about what I'd do after I stop competing.
Mm,
But I don't want if BSR staying a thing requires me, then I'll stay a part of it for as long as I need to be. If
mm,
that helps answer the question.
okay.
I don't. I would like to, get into tournament organizing, and I've always fancied myself a fairly good commentator.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that fun as well the few times that I've done it. But every
Mm-hmm.
time I want to, people are like, "No, but you should be playing." Literally, that's what they say, and I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll go play." And then I get mad and I win the tournament.
But I
As
mean,
a joke, obviously, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean, when you, I mean, there's people like me who manage to do both at the same time. I mean, it's stressful as hell, but I mean, when you eventually when you start competing, obviously that's something you can pick up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's if you haven't given it much thought, obviously it's not a problem, but like um, I think it would be interesting
Not
to
that old, baby. Jeez.
listen. That's not. I'm not insinuating that. Okay,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
yeah. Um, but like I have to say, like, it's quite gratifying to like um know that even if you're not competing, you're still sort of helping put things together,
Yeah.
and like let other people shine, and let other people take this game forward, and pick up where you left off. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
so
I get
yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah.
But I'm still beating people, so it's fine. Thanks, David.
All right, we'll move on from that then, very swiftly. Um, so there's no doubt at this point that there are some very talented Tekken players across this continent, across Africa.
Yes.
But compared to other continents, it's fair to say that a lot of our scenes are quite small and still growing. I think
Okay.
South Africa probably has one of, if not the largest, like FGC in terms of the player base, and I'm not talking about just Tekken. I'm talking about fighting games in general.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
you've
you.
got some of the best players in the continent in other games, like Jabi M, who is arguably Africa's best Street Fighter player. I don't know if you've heard of him, but I would assume like your life is Tekken, so I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Don't know
Um,
that guy.
but yeah, a guy called Jabi M, who is arguably Africa's best Street Fighter players from South Africa.
Big up.
Shilgreed, who is one of Africa's best Mortal Kombat players. So at least from what I can tell or from what I've seen, like South Africa has amongst South African countries as one of the larger player bases. Um,
Yeah.
but on the basis of skill level, where would you rank South Africa and Tekken amongst the continent's other scenes?
What are you doing?
Is this another hard question?
Yes.
And as a
Because
follow
I'm
up,
gonna be honest.
that yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But as a follow up to that, as you're answering that, like, do you also feel like there's anything holding your scene back from being stronger than it currently is, if anything?
Um.
So yeah, yeah. So you can answer the yeah.
Okay. So I think from what I've seen from Ivoria,
Mm,
I would say between the two of you above South Africa. That's just
okay,
me being me. The
okay.
only person I feel I can hold a torch to you guys possibly is BDM. I'm
Mm,
trading water. I'm trading water. I
mm.
probably did
He's
well, I
he's
would
he's
say,
quite he's
against
very good.
Malawi.
To be fair to him, he's very good. And is
Yeah.
he South African? Someone told me he's from Mozambique, but I'm not sure.
Kill
Is
me now. Just put me out of my misery then.
no
What's the
no no no
point?
no no
No.
no no no. That's not. I did. That's not what I meant, obviously. But
No, I
like,
know, I know.
yeah. Obviously. I can only assume he's based in South Africa now because he takes part in so many of your tournaments. BDM being Big Daddy Mike for
Yeah,
those of you watching that don't know. Yeah, he's a very good player.
man's too
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's the thing. You can't be too good at this game.
So you would say Ivory Coast and Kenya above South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about any of the other scenes. You see, the
Mm,
thing is, I play you guys, so I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
You know, I've played Maui, so I
yeah,
know. I've played most of these guys in South Africa as well, so
yeah.
therefore I know. I have actual data, and the thing that the thing that I think is holding us back partially is the fact that people don't realize that. People don't realize how, and it's not an insult because we can get better.
Mm,
We don't realize how far behind we actually are.
mm,
That I think is holding us back. We don't realize how much time and effort is actually going to be required
mm,
in order to get this right.
mm,
We sort of, I don't know, complacent with the fact that, I don't know, maybe certain people always win or we just can't beat them.
mm.
And then we don't play them anymore. That's also a big thing. I don't know if that's a thing in your guys' scene as well, but it's a thing in this scene, at least online. Sorry, people
Uh,
stop playing if you beat them.
yeah, it's a thing where people get disheartened by taking L's, or that I think we have that with a few players in our scene as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think for the most part, at least over here with uh, the small group of people that have consistently continued to play this game, like it's I'm gonna hold this L, but like I'm gonna learn something at the same time,
yeah,
and that's the right mindset to have. Something else I don't know. I'm sorry to bring this up. I don't think this is holding you back anymore because this is a problem you've effectively sort of gotten rid of. But something I always wonder is a player like Tekken Guru. I'm sorry to bring him up.
that's where we're
Um,
coming. Yeah,
yeah. Um, I something I always wonder from time to time is how much better would you guys be if all your best players had this sort of collaborative spirit. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
and you see it in pretty much every other scene. First of all, before I go into that, like Tekken Guru is a good player. Like there's no denying that. Like that's I think we can both agree. I think anyone who's played him can attest to that. But this, unfortunately, he's also a narcissist. Um, in that with the best players in most communities, the mindset is, yeah, I'm the best, but I'm not always going to be the best, and eventually someone is going to surpass me. And when they do, I want to help. I'm going to support them, and I want to help them be as good as they can be. And we see that before I even leave Africa. You've seen that with Mickey in our community. He still claps us every week, but he's always giving people advice, giving tips. He started streaming, I think, a couple months ago. He's always giving people advice and being very supportive. You look at Ivory Coast, Ivoire, who I mentioned earlier. He lost. There was this big tournament they had called Battle of the Gods. That I think he placed second. Another player there called Skywalker, Lawmain, beat him. And he went on Twitter and is like, you look, this is one of the younger guys in our scene, and he's really good. And like
nice.
he was effectively like passing the torch to him, and
Yeah,
he's propping him up, and he's like, this is the guy this is the next one. Like I've
yeah,
done my
yeah.
thing. This is the guy you should be looking out for now. Outside Africa, with so many other scenes, I can talk about Ni in South Korea. He's been holding his own tournaments for the longest time. He's obviously the best Tekken player of all time, but at the same time, he's actively trying to like help the younger guys out, like at his tournaments. He's when he does his lobbies online, he's giving people advice and that sort of stuff. Even though he's clapping them left, right, and center, you know. But with Tekken Guru, for like with the interactions I had with him, it was sort of like the sort of mindset I got from him is I'm the best and I have to be the best and no one else can be the best. And I think that's something that's something that held the community back for the longest time, because it's like with someone like because I'm the best, everyone has to do things my way, and if people don't do things my way, like you're my enemy. And it's like that's like
Yeah.
for the
Who has enemies? What is his
yeah, I mean it's not that deep, you know what I mean. And for the
villains and shit?
yeah, for the period of time that he he was like, what's the word I want to use, for the period of time that he was actively interacting with you people, I think that's something that was holding you back.
Yeah.
And you know, he's also engaged in some deplorable behavior that I don't want to get into, and I don't think it's my place to talk about that. That's experiences you guys have had with him, and you guys can talk about that in your own time. But like, I think um, obviously for various reasons he's been banned for going to like a number of offline tournaments and stuff like that. But like something I always wonder is if if only this guy sort of obviously he's not the only really good player you have Big Daddy Mike, you had another guy called Vibs. I wonder where he is now. The guy just sort of disappeared. I was playing with him regularly on PC like last year, then he just like disappeared. um but yeah, like you guys have a number of like very good players, so you don't really need that guy. But I always wonder like if like in the position he was in, if he had that collaborative spirit, it was like, okay, I'm the best, but like I want to help these others get better. I
Yeah.
That's something that just crosses my mind every so often. It's like how much better would the rest of you be? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't. I don't know. Look, there's like you said, there's a few really good players we have.
Yeah, and I
But
mean you guys have effectively like eradicated that problem. And as you've just said, he's not the only really good player you have. You have the Big Daddy Mikes, the Daxes. You have yourself. There's, there's, and all of you like, from what I can see, like actively trying to help the others get better, which is a good thing. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, that's that's something I just felt like was holding Yassine back for a period of time, but it's not anymore because you know he's
yeah,
that
he's gone.
he's gone. Yeah. Um.
Look, I still think we could do with a little bit more collaboration. I'm not gonna
Of
lie, especially
course. Yeah.
between
You always could.
uh
Yeah.
yeah, especially between the top players. But the problem is we are scattered in different provinces.
Mm.
You take Spag, for example. I just want to pick his brain, but
Mm.
he's like on the other side of the world, logistically,
Wait.
you
Is
know.
I
And
thought Spag was from Cape Town. Is he? Where's he from?
no, no, I think he lives in Joburg.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't even really know. Yeah, but he's not in Cape Town, and
Yeah.
Cape Town is kind of big already, and I don't really get much opportunity to travel.
Yeah.
When I did go to Joburg last year, it was because I'd actually won the qualifier to get sent to Joburg
Mm.
to participate in that tournament,
That was for Rush, if I remember correctly. Was
Rush
it?
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first Dragon Ninja Laser
Laser
Eye.
Eyes. Yeah.
Look, I've asked about the title, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I've
it's a mouthful, and I understand.
it's
The title
yeah.
is. We can
Anyway,
just say DNLE.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
went there, and that was literally the first time I'd been on an aeroplane or outside my province.
Wow.
So
Okay.
while it would be ideal, obviously, to get us all together, it's difficult.
I can
And
imagine. Yeah.
yes, if we could, I think we would catapult
Mm.
because, like I say, I just want to sit in a room for an hour with Spag, an hour playing, and then an hour talking about playing. That's all I want. But
Mm.
it's not gonna. I mean, I'll play him online, but it's just not the same.
Mm. Just thinking about some of your other top players. I think Dax is also from Joburg.
Yeah,
Uh, Then there's Regan, who's from Durban. Yeah, so like I can imagine, yeah, with with the distance, like it must be a challenge, and the best you can do is focus on your own cities, and then you know, uh, whenever you can come together like that, that happens.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
What we do is foster competition, and it's
mm.
maybe not. It gets a little. It's very sort of passive aggressive, but I can tell that there's
What the
like
regional rivalries? I should
mm,
actually. I Now that I think about it, I'm actually interested to find out about that because over here in Kenya, like Nairobi is really the as far as I know, I've met a few players from other places. Obviously, Dark Tempest is from lives in Nakuru. There's I think two players I ran into who are from the coast. Um,
mm,
but like Nairobi is really where everyone is. So I guess
okay.
for us like
That's
it's a
it.
bit easy. It's a bit easier in that sense. And even for Dark Tempest, like Nakuru and Nairobi are like uh, 2.5, 3 hours apart, like by road. So
Okay.
it's not like that big a distance. At least, well, I say that, but his son always has to come here. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't really like speak to that. But like, so we don't really have any regional rivalries here because the only active region here is Nairobi. But like, what's now that I think about it, like what's that like? Like when you guys get together in tournaments, like is it a thing where like everyone from Cape Town is like rooting for the Cape Town guys, everyone from Joburg is behind Joburg, Durban, like like
Look,
how deep is it?
it's not like nobody's upset.
Mm.
People are maybe salty that Cape Town wins all the tournaments,
Oh,
but
okay,
nobody's
okay.
upset unless they are. But
Mm.
sorry, sorry that I won. I guess.
You're feeling very, very, very smug today. I like it.
I don't know. Look, it's been cooped up all this time. All I see
Mm.
is my face. So yeah.
But like how deep do those rivalries go at tournaments? Like, is it you know what's that like?
Look, I wouldn't say it's too deep. No, like I went to Rush, and it was me, Kay, and my cousin Ayub who'd also won the flight over that were from Cape Town. But
Mm,
everyone was chilled. I spent time with Regan. I remember I spent because he's from Durban, but he came to Joburg. He
mm,
was the only Durbanite there. People
mm.
were cheering for him on chat, but no, it's not that deep because people still screamed like mad people when mad shit happened on the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, not really. It's
All
pretty
right.
it's pretty chilled. But
Mm,
yes, it is noted that this guy is from this province and this guy is from this province. It is very well documented. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's why I say it's sort
that's
of
something
passive
I've yeah that's
passive
something I
aggressive.
yeah that's
Yeah.
something I've noticed because like that's something you people like make note of when you do your
Mm-hmm.
tournaments. So like I was just in my mind, it's like how you know are those regional rivalries like really intense or whatever. But I guess from what you said, it's not really that deep. But like there has to be
It's
some
there.
level of it's there. Yeah, has to be
Yeah.
some bragging rights like for your city when you win a tournament. So
Yeah,
um,
I mean, to this day, Rabs will still talk about the fact that I went to Joburg
mm.
and won that tournament, and he talks
and
about
and he's still
rivalries,
salty
and
and he's still
he's
salty
still
about
upset
it.
about that. Yeah,
Wow.
but everyone else has moved on.
Wow. Okay. Um. So let's talk about the game itself for a little bit.
Okay,
We're about to wrap up. Um.
cool.
So Tekken 7 has been, if I'm not wrong, the most successful game in the series since Tekken 5. Tekken 5 sold something like I think Tekken 3 and 5 both sold more than 8 million copies, and Tekken 7 crossed 5 million. Was it in a few months ago? I can't really remember. But it's also arguably been the most polarizing, especially with everything that's happened in season 3, pre-nerf Leroy and now Fakum Ram. Um, uh, both season 4. having been announced recently, what changes are you hoping to see going forward? Like just as a fan of the game, and like, are there any characters you're eager for, legacy or otherwise?
No,
Hashtag
I'm fine.
Kiryu, hashtag Kiryu for Tekken 7.
You can put your hashtags in the chat. I don't care. I like no. I just want to get better. And for me, I'm maybe a little old school in the sense that every time a new season is released, there's more shit that I need to learn. Sorry, I keep swearing.
Mm,
It's just sorry guys. Yeah, that makes it a little again because maybe I take this a little too seriously. I need to win money. I need to, so it's more work.
mm,
But if I just look at it as a fan of the game, then I'm like, yeah, this is hype. This is really cool, because the game is still alive. The characters I like are still in the game, etc., etc. I'm not really looking forward to any changes, but I know that they will come.
mm.
So yeah, I'll take that.
That's a very interesting answer. That I did not expect, to be honest. But I mean, that's you, and you can respect that. I actually find that interesting. Your main focus is just
Yeah.
improving.
It's
However,
not enough. There's so many
yeah,
moves.
whatever state the game is in, I just want to get better. I respect that.
Yeah.
But I still want to ask you about the game itself.
Yeah. Sure. No, go ahead.
Unfortunately, this is something I've asked all my guests just to wrap up the stream. Uh, do you have a top five for Tekken 7
Top five in what sense?
characters?
Top five
Top
strongest
five,
characters or
top five strongest characters. Yeah, in your opinion.
okay. Well, Fakumram, one.
Mm-hmm.
Leroy, two.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd have to put Zaf third because she's insane. She can get around most things.
I hate
She
Zafina
can
so
actually she
much.
she's actually like it's like a counter pick for Fakumram. I found that she just gets around a lot of his nonsense.
Okay,
So that's three. Fourth, it's hard to say. I don't know.
those last two spots. Yeah.
Yeah, I always sort of make up my inverted commas tier list by characters that I struggle against. I still
Okay.
struggle against Kazumi because
Okay.
if you have someone that plays that character properly, you can never be sure when to go in. You can never be sure when she's going to either move around something. You can't really push too hard on your mixes because she's just going to wait for you to make a mistake. I'm talking about actually playing the character,
Okay. Okay.
not just spamming fly mix-ups. I'm talking about if you play Kazumi the way she's meant to be played, she's, I believe, in the top five because
Okay.
there's actually no room to go in. How are you going to get in there? It's a wall. Anyway,
Okay.
that's a very personal Kazumi tilt that just happened.
Mm.
It's Goofy Mercury, dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
I was about to say, like, is it because of Goofy Mercury?
He's really. I'm not saying he's the perfect Kazumi player, but I can see it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I can see what would really make this character dangerous. I can see why Arsenal Ash wins tournaments with this character.
Okay.
It's like it's never his turn. He's always waiting for a mistake. And if you someone like me who's dick jabbing to interrupt turns, you're gonna get tilted very quickly. So yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
Fifth,
um,
I'd have to put one of the 2D characters because they're just stupid. So I'd go with Akuma.
okay. So,
Yeah.
uh, Fakunram, Leroy, Zafina, Kazumi, Akuma. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Interesting.
maybe swap Kazumi and Akuma.
Okay. I
If I
mean,
have to
it
choose
doesn't.
like a
It
swap.
doesn't have to be in any particular order, but
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my top five.
Okay. Interesting. All right,
So
Iggy.
I'm gonna say that the five I struggle with.
There has to be other characters you struggle with, but I guess
Of
those
course,
are
yeah.
the ones that give you the biggest headache.
Yeah, well, I would say they have really stuck out because they told me the most. Yeah.
Okay. I could feel the pain in that last comment, and I can only sympathize because I know that pain. Iggy, thank you again for taking the
Sure.
time for joining us. Thank you everyone for watching. The This will go up on YouTube and AfriPods later tonight. So if you didn't manage to catch this live, no worries. You can listen to me and Iggy talk about stuff time again and again.
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Cheers.